Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to Monday's ELA lesson for today. I have our story of the week. It's another expository text. So, an expository text is nonfiction and it shares information with us about any kind of topic that is true. So, our essential question of the week: how do people respond to natural disasters? We're going to read about how people prepare for natural disasters. So, a natural disaster can be any kind of um, storm, it can be like a tornado, a hurricane, or maybe something in the earth shifts and moves in such a way that it's capable of great destruction, such as a landslide or an earthquake. But we're going to read a little bit more about what these natural disasters are. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. So, any words you see in yellow, those are our vocabulary words of the week that you will be tested on this Friday. So whenever we come across this word, these words that you see, we'll stop and talk about it briefly so that way you know what they mean. Okay. Earth may seem as if it is a large rock that never changes. Actually, our planet is in a constant state of change. Natural changes take place every day. These activities alter the surface of Earth. So, alter means to change something. Some of these changes take place slowly over many years. Others happen in just minutes. Whether they are slow or fast, both kinds of changes have a great effect on our planet. Slow and steady. Some of Earth's biggest changes can't be seen. That is because they're happening very slowly. Weathering, erosion, and deposition are three natural processes that change the surface of the world. They do it one grain of sand at a time. So our surface is always changing. It never looks the same. So, and this may be hard to wrap your mind around, but these changes can take place over, thousands, maybe millions of years. So if we look at something like the Grand Canyon, which is what you see in the background, that took millions of years to form. And I mean, it's kind of hard to tell unless you're actually there in person, but this is like a really huge canyon. It's very deep. It's like hundreds of feet deep. So, and that formed over many years of weathering and erosion. So, and we're not aware of it because of how slow it takes. Weathering occurs when rain, snow, sun, and wind break down rocks into smaller pieces. Yes, it's possible to break them down. These tiny pieces of rock turn into soil, but they are not carried away from the landform. Erosion occurs when weathered pieces of rock are carried away by natural force, such as a river. This causes landforms on Earth to get smaller. They may even completely collapse over time. The Grand Canyon is an example of the effect of erosion. It was carved over thousands of years by the Colorado River. After the process of erosion, dirt and rocks are then dropped in a new location. This process is called deposition. Over time, a large collection of deposits may occur in one place. Deposition by water can build up a beach. Deposition by wind can create a substantial landform, such as a sand dune. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have ever been to the sand dunes that are in northern Indiana. There's actually a national park. I can't remember what city it's in, but if you ever go north to Indiana, close to Michigan, there's this whole park of just these mountains of sand. Those are sand dunes. So that was caused by wind depositing sand over time. So this word substantial means a great amount. So if you ever see a sand dune in person, it's like this big, big hill of sand. So that's pretty substantial. Fast and powerful. Oh, wait, I had to scroll up. Sorry, we're not there yet. Although erosion is a slow process, it still creates problems for people. Some types of erosion are dangerous. They can be seen as a hazard or danger to communities. To help protect against beach erosion, people build structures that block ocean waves from the shore. They may also use heavy rocks to keep the land from eroding. Others grow plants along the shore. The roots of the plants can help hold the soil and make it less likely to erode. Unfortunately, people cannot protect the land when fast natural processes occur. So if you ever live by a beach, or if you ever go to a beach, sometimes you see these wall type structures. And sometimes I have even seen what they're talking about, people growing plants. So that's just to help the beach, to stop it from slowly disappearing from erosion. Because if they erode enough and there are people who live in houses less than a mile away, then eventually it's going to get to their house and then they'll lose their house. And that's not good. Fast and powerful. Fast natural processes, like slow processes, change the surface of Earth, but fast processes are much more powerful. They're often called natural disasters because of the destruction they cause. Volcanic eruptions and landslides are just two examples. So that's a volcano erupting right here. Volcanoes form around openings in Earth's crust. When pressure builds under Earth's surface, hot melted rock called magma is forced upwards. It flows up through the volcano and out through the opening. Eruptions can occur without warning. They have the potential to cause a crisis in a community. Okay, so destruction, you probably know what that means. It just means that they destroy things. It's something that gets destroyed or something's ruined, something's torn down. That can be destruction. Crisis, it's a state of emergency. So whenever there's an emergency going on, that could be called a crisis. Like volcanic eruptions, landslides can happen without warning. They occur when rocks and dirt loosened by heavy rains slide down a hill or mountain. Some landslides are small, others can be quite large and cause severe damage. Be prepared. In contrast to slow-moving processes, people cannot prevent the effects of fast-moving natural disasters. Instead, scientists try to predict when these events will occur so that they can warn people. Still, some disasters are unpredictable and strike without warning. It is important for communities to have an emergency plan in place so that they can be evacuated quickly. So going back to severe, it just means something that's very serious, something that's very bad. Unpredictable, well, if you know what predictable means, it means that we know when something's going to happen. Unpredictable means that it's something that we don't know, something that we could not have seen coming. The surface of Earth constantly changes through natural processes. These processes can be gradual or swift. So gradual means it's something that's slow. They help to make Earth the amazing planet that it is. Okay, so at the very end, that's actually when we answered the essential question, ways that people can prepare for natural disasters. And like it says, sometimes we can't, but sometimes scientists can study the behavior of volcanoes so they know when a volcanic eruption could happen. So volcanoes are very interesting, and I actually have been to a city where it was surrounded by all these active volcanoes. It was Quito, Ecuador. And the city of Quito is literally in the center of all these mountains and all these volcanoes. And they're all active. Most of them are anyway. So basically, scientists can sometimes they can figure out when they will erupt, and they can warn the people that live in the area months, maybe weeks ahead of time. And other natural disasters that weren't even talked about, hurricanes, we usually know when they're coming thanks to the meteorologists, to the weather people. We usually know way in advance so that people can evacuate. So there are things that people can do to prepare for natural disasters. And I believe there is a question about that in your homework. So make sure that you watch this video so that way you know the answer. So, how can you help others who have been in a natural disaster? Well, I know not too long ago there was a hurricane that hit Florida and other states in the South. Sometimes people are awesome and can travel to where natural disasters happen, and they can help bring food and clothing, build shelters. Sometimes doctors volunteer to go help anyone who's sick or hurt. So there are people who can help, and even if you can't go, some people like to donate money to others that can help. All right, so make sure you answer the questions on It's Learning and submit. That is all for today.